right, we're back. Welcome back, everybody, to Two Dudes Talking Motorcycles. My name is Mitch. I will be doing a solo episode for this one, as Gleb is out of town. And if you listen to our last one, Gleb was, or I was out sick. Still recovering over that. I can just tell you, don't get COVID. It's not fun. So you're stuck with me today. But we'll be following along the lines of doing some kind of Halloween and also some motorcycle folklore kind of stuff today. So we'll just be getting into that. As for news, before we jump into our main stuff here, we have the announcement of the updated Triumph Speed Twin 900. Looks like they put on that LED or that new display up front in the cockpit, which I have opinions about on some of their other bikes. But it looks like they've updated to that, as well as given it an LED headlight and some new color schemes from there. So I have not yet ridden this version, or I think I've only ridden the, what is it? I think it's a 2019, maybe 2018. And back then it was named the Street Twin 900. But honestly, a fun little bike. Personally, I didn't ever really miss the sixth gear taking that thing around. I took it up canyons and around town and stuff. So it was a good time. I would say try one out if you're looking to get like a modern classic from Triumph, but you don't want to really drop the kind of cash that you need for like a 1200. I think they're a decent little, a good little bike if you just need something. And that's kind of like your style from there. So, yeah, check it out. But about the LED headlight, I know Gleb mentioned it in our last episode too, and I want to share some of my thoughts on that. Boy, these modern classics, especially ones like in a certain price point, like where you're getting like in these 1200s and stuff, you're just missing out if you don't have the classic like dual dial analog dials up there. They're nice. They look so good on those bikes. They kind of bring in like the whole modern classic experience. And then from what I've seen on these displays, and I've ridden, I can't remember which bike it was, but I've tested a few of them that had that display on it, and it's just, I don't know, it just puts me out like and there's nothing wrong with like a Honda or a Yamaha, but you know, if I'm gonna be getting on a Triumph riding like that modern classic style, I don't want like a typical bike display. I want those really nice, very pristine looking like dials up there. So I think Triumph's made a mistake with those, and hopefully they bring them back. I don't know, but we'll see. I think the LED headlight is a decent little upgrade though to some of these bikes. They look a little crisper and sharper up front as well. And with my bike having LED, it does give you some decent light. Can't say I've ridden a bike with a incandescent headlight up front. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how that goes. But that's really all I have for news-wise right now. There's going to be something announced in in November from Triumph. It's going to be some sort of a new 800. So we'll see if that's going to be, we'll see what that is. Maybe they're going to be bringing back the Street Cup. We'll see. I think it's going to be a twin, but we'll keep our eyes out and on it. We'll let you know as soon as it's out there. So, but there we are. But like I said, we are going to be going over some more Halloween, I guess you'd call it paranormal, but it's going to be motorcycle related, and it's also going to dive into motorcycle folklore from there as well. So, but before we do that, we just want to let you guys know this episode is brought to you by Shogun Motorbike Adventures. Enjoy some of the best motorbike riding in the world as you ride, explore, and immerse yourself in Japan from Tokyo to Mount Fuji and beyond. Shogun's Fuji Explorer guided tours kicks off in 2025 and includes accommodation, bike hire, support vehicle, expert guides, and much more. Claim 15% off your tour with promo code 2dudes15, and we'll have a link in the description for the episode down below. So thank you to Shogun Motorbikes. They've been really awesome to work with us on this. So, and let's get into it. So I was going to be going over the Oxford Lights ghost story, reading on it. Everything I could find for it, though, kind of dived more into like the paranormal kind of stuff. Like the only mention of it with a motorcycle is that this person became a ghost in a motorcycle accident, and that's really all they had to do with with ghosts, or with motorcycles and ghosts. So I felt like I could find something just a little bit better for you. And if you're watching this on the video, you'll please excuse my cat. She wanted to be in the shot, I guess. So we'll just go into this. So we'll be talking instead about talking about ghosts, we're going to be going over gremlins. Most people, I'm sure, you've heard about gremlins, what they are, little creatures or demons that like to mess up machinery and stuff. So, and there's my cat being a gremlin again. But if you don't know, gremlins, from what I could find, that the story and legend of gremlins started in World War II when Royal Air Force pilots began making jokes and complaining about the reliability of their aircraft during the war. I guess some of the British planes were not super reliable. Whether that's the pilots or the mechanics, who knows? So we'll see. But they started blaming it on these little creatures that were causing wrecks and mechanical failures from there. But the word gremlin, it's an Old English word, gremian or gremlin, which means to make someone feel annoyed or worried. And it's believed that the pilots actually, as I said, they came up with this to poke fun at some of the reliability issues that they were facing. But over here in America, so once the U.S. pilots arrived in Europe and started aiding in the war, from there they kind of picked up on the story too, and it stuck around. So they started claiming they'd see them before a crash or a malfunction. So that's where we get like the origin of gremlins messing with our beloved machines. And funny enough, if you've ever watched Looney Tunes, because I miss those sometimes still. But there's an episode involving a gremlin and Bugs Bunny where he's on a World War II bomber, and he's having to deal with a gremlin trying to take down his plane from there. So fun little goofy little episode. It's a good time, but we can see there that they've been in media like for a long time since then. There's even a movie about gremlins. I don't know if if the movie Gremlins, if they dealt with machinery or stuff, if they were just weird little creatures that if you get them wet, they get nasty. So, but again, that's where we start from. And then as you know, pilots and service members like began returning home. It is a thing with motorcycles that we've mentioned before, is that with returning vets, motorcycle clubs started to pop up. They kind of formed their own little communities and motorcycle clubs and stuff from there. So they just kind of stuck and spread from there. So with gremlins, messing with the bikes, and bikers wanted a way to ward these things off. And as it turns out, the bikers decided, or discovered, I should say, that bells are the best way to keep these little buggers away from your bike. Why bells? We'll see. From what I've been discovering and looking some of the stuff up to bring you guys this, is that bells they have in history and through many cultures throughout the world, bells have been kind of like used to guard off bad vibes, bad spirits, demons from there. So some say like just the way that they hang, they kind of represent like a guardian. They're watching over you, they're above you, and that their rings cleanse and purify and protect you. So, and one thing I found that was pretty interesting was that even in like something like Christianity, the custom of ringing church bells during burial services, historically, traditionally, culturally, I guess, superstition is that the ringing bells keep away evil spirits, waiting to capture the soul as it leaves the body. So that's just kind of some like the ideas that go into using a bell for those from there. And gremlins are no different. They, they're not so much in the sense of protecting from gremlins. They're not so much an alarm as more of like a device to keep them away. We have our if you have an armed like electric bike lock, that'll ring, not really a bell, but it still sets off an alarm, chases thieves away. So, which are also disgusting little gremlins in their own way. We do not care for, we do not like bike thieves. So, there are a few rules regarding bells and fighting off these little buggers. But before we get into the rules, I think we should look into some of the tales and the stuff that follows along with bikes and how it kind of spread through the culture and kind of led to becoming like a practice among some groups of riders. So we have a tale here called The Old Biker's Tale, and I'm going to read it off to you, and I will do my very best to not sniffle or sneeze or cough as I'm still recovering. Many years ago, an old crusty biker was returning home from Mexico after picking up some gifts his motorcycle club wanted to give to an orphanage. It was a cold December night. The ride was smooth up until he reached the high desert, where the biker rounded a curve and suddenly lost control and went down. He ended up on the ground, unable to move due to his bike laying on top of him. As he collected himself and began to look around, he noticed these small creatures beginning to approach him with hungry eyes and evil eyes. Road gremlins. The biker had heard of these demons during his time in the Army Air Corps during the war. Though he never gave them much thought beyond pilots and aircrew superstition, he realized these monsters had been lying in wait, hungry for the chance to take down a biker and his motorcycle. And he was the new prey. Having crashed and being trapped under his bike made him an easy target for the gremlins who continued to approach him. The biker noticed his saddlebag was lying next to him. Luckily, it was filled with toys he had been carrying, and in desperation, he started throwing the toys at them, trying to keep them away, but nothing worked, until, by chance, he grabbed a bell. He started ringing it. He realized the gremlins began to slow their advance, with pained looks on their faces. Hoping that the mad ringing was working, he continued waving the bell. Meanwhile, another two bikers were camping in the desert when they heard a bell ringing out from the distance. Alarmed by a bell ringing in the middle of nowhere, they started to follow the sound and found the old biker on the ground, trying to fight off the evil little road demons. They rushed to his help and chased the gremlin away into the night. The old biker was so grateful that he offered them money for saving his life. Being true bikers, of course, money was out of the question. Because that's what bikers do. We help each other out. And being a true biker himself, the old man could not let them leave without somehow being rewarded for their good deed. He cut two straps from his saddlebag, tied a bell to each, and tied them beneath each motorcycle as close to the ground as possible. He told his two biker brothers that the bells will keep them safe from road gremlins, and if ever in trouble, just ring the bell and fellow bikers will run to their help. So next time you see a motorcycle with a bell on it, know that it is protected by the powerful magic of the bell. More importantly, know that the bell is a sign of true friendship and is a caring gift from one fellow biker to another. It is also a thoughtful and important gift for new bikers welcomed into the community, as it gives them a positive outlook on the ideals of brotherhood and a special bond within the communities. It is encouraging to know that someone cares for you and always has your back. So that's our story. Looking at it, analyzing it, it's nice. It's a good little message. We look out for each other, for our friends within our groups. So it seems more than like instead of like an actual literal belief, it's more of like it's a symbolic story of, take care of each other, take care of your bikes. And like the bell is like a symbol of unity among your groups from there. Personally, in my groups, like with Gleb and stuff, we don't have bells. We don't use them. Maybe we should, but it does seem more like it's a symbolic like a biker culture thing, not an actual like superstitious belief from there. So, but it does bring everything together into like to support the claim that, motorcycle groups are tight knit, they're close. And if you're welcoming somebody into your group, to involve them, is that you also give them this trinket, and now they're a part of your community. One of you, I guess, or one of us. So, I don't know. We should be using them maybe, just to kind of like promote the culture from there. So, keep bumping the mic every episode. My apologies, guys. But we have been getting into our rules. If you're going to, maybe you already have a bell, maybe you haven't followed these rules that I've been able to find, but these are how you get, if you are more into the superstitious side of things, if you think there are little creatures that are out to mess up your machine, rule 1, never buy your own bell. So if you bought your own bell because you thought it looked cool, you want to put it on, you've already violated the rules. It's not going to work, supposedly. So never buy your own bell. In order for the Gremlin bell to work, it must be received as a gift. The protective powers are activated by the gesture of goodwill and care, and the bell becomes especially powerful if received from a fellow rider. Rule 2, never hang your own bell. Probably might have originated from this biker's tale that I just read. The bell needs to be hung on your bike by the person who gave it to you. Not only does that person have the intent of goodwill, but they make sure that the protection is activated as they attach the gift that they're giving to you to your bike. So, yeah, don't buy your own. Don't put it on yourself. Someone has to gift it to you, and they have to put it on. So we've established those 2 rules for protecting your bike from gremlins. Rule 3, never leave your bell behind. If you sell your bike, never leave the bell on the bike for the new owner. It was a gift meant for you, and it should be cherished for what it represents. So you should take it off, keep it, or transfer it to a new bike. If you happen to want, this was a nice little exception that I was able to find. If you want to give the bell to the new owner as a gift, you have to go through the ritual of removing the bell from the bike and personally handing it to the biker as a gift. From what I could read on that, is that it sounds kind of contradictory. You have to give it to them, but do they hang it themselves? So they have to give it back to you so that you can retie it to the bike that is now theirs. Might be a gray area. Better play it safe though. So we'll see how it goes from there. Yes, but it does kind of reinforce the idea though that if you don't give the bell with the goodwill, you don't have the intent of it being as a gift, then it's null and void. It's not going to protect that new rider or the new owner of the bike. So moving on to rule 4, attach it to the lowest part of the frame. Since these things are tiny and they're small, they lurk like in potholes and on the side of the road. You want to have it as low and close to the ground as possible, so when they try to grab on, the bell's ringing vibrations is going to kick in instantly, so they won't be able to grab hold and start ripping stuff apart. But yeah, so rule 4, clean and simple, add it nice and low. If a bell is stolen, it loses its powers. So once again, bike thieves, you suck. You don't deserve protection. And yeah, yes, a stolen bell, it just goes against everything that kind of goes behind the symbol of giving the bell to somebody, is that there's no goodwill there. The bell, it's gone. The bell is just a piece of metal now. And lastly, since this is a protective gift that needs to be cherished, you want to clean and polish it. Every time you clean your bike, make sure that you polish your bell. One must think of all the fallen friends while doing it, which is a way of paying them respect. You must also remember the meaning of being in the wind and importance of being free. And it makes it nice and shiny. So, yeah, looking through this stuff from there, again, I just really do think it is more of like it's like fun little stories from the past that kind of add to making it just kind of promote, unity, brotherhood, sisterhood, what have you. It just supports. How would I word it? It supports taking care of each other, looking out for each other, and even at the end of the story that we had on here, it's that it's encouraging to know that someone cares for you and they've always got your back. So, and yeah, that's I really don't have much to add to that. We just wanted to bring that to you. If you're living somewhere where your motorcycle riding is going to be weather restricted very soon, like me and Gleb, make sure you guys get out and ride safe. We got the holidays coming up, so maybe if you want like a fun little gift among your friends, you can look into getting them bells. So, from there, I think I've seen one bike with a bell on it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I haven't had any issues with mechanical gremlins or anything from there, but we'll see. Maybe we'll look into it from there. But get out and ride. Make sure you guys are riding safe. I do apologize that this is going to be a shorter episode. As I said, I am recovering, and I think I'm going to go continue to recover so that hopefully I can also ride my bike before I have to put her up for winter. All these rules that I found, the story itself, I found on a website called cratex.com. I believe they sell like bell making kits. So if you guys wanted to make your own bells, that sounds kind of fun. If you have the skills to do so, be sure to check them out. I'm glad they're putting some of this fun stuff out on the web and supporting it from there. But also be sure, I believe you can buy some bells on Revzilla if you guys use our affiliate link. We'll have that description down there for you as well too. Everything that if you purchase anything through Revzilla using our link, we'll get a little kickback. It won't cost you anything extra. From there though, guys, me and Gleb will be back recording together for the next episode, and we'll be bringing you something from there. I think Halloween will be over or close to being over by the time that one releases. So happy Halloween. Take care and have a good time, guys. Bye.